And we're live. Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Marston Mondays, where we free roam with John in Epilogue 2. What's that about? J Lash with the thumbs ups. Appreciate you, friend. Thank you. Happy Monday to you, J Lash. Miko Herptile says hello, Super Antonio and Sadie. Hello, mods and everyone. I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. I sure did. I hope you did as well, Miko. Batzaro says, hello. Greetings, Batzaro. Appreciate you being here, friend. Batzaro, were you and I, forgive me for not remembering, having a conversation about the X-Files last time you were here? And in particular, Gillian Anderson and Agent Scully. 9 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Happy Monday to you. Hope you enjoyed the long weekend. I had a good weekend. I've got my cardio in, got my jump ropes, and got the dog walk in. She has been walked, watered, and fed, and now we are ready to hang out with you guys for a little bit and talk about whatever comes up. Batzaro says, yes, sir. Okay, good, Batzaro, because I wanted to mention a series called Hannibal with Mads Mikkelsen. It was from like 2010-ish. I don't know if you saw it. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Anyways, Gillian Anderson has a role there as Hannibal's psychiatrist and lover. Spoiler alert, sorry. But she, it's a wonderful role, but she speaks in something closer to her actual accent, her actual British accent. So you might enjoy that, and you know, Mads Mikkelsen is a great Hannibal. I never thought we could get a better Hannibal than Anthony Hopkins, but he completely made the role his own. And I highly recommend that series. Fairly easy to find on streaming. I kind of want it on Blu-ray.
Honey, someone's coming. Look.
Okay, well,
just so I can get the extras or the DVD extras.
Hey,
Did you see the horses?
Hanging out with John.
And we have enough food and water for the journey. Clean water.
What's happening in Tumbleweed these days?
I get well away from here if I was you. We're in a hurry, sorry. Yeah, we got everything we need, and if we don't, we'll just get it. Just calm down.
I can't believe we're leaving everything behind.
Just sit back and try to relax. We have a long ride ahead.
Then I am currently working on a
Good luck to you. And you, sir. Stay clear of town.
on a Marvel movies
Safe travel.
general discussion on phase 1 through 3. Batzaro says, I've wanted to see it pretty much for her, but now from a trusted opinion, I know it's good. I'll check it out later tonight. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, and I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. It is wonderful. Yeah, I'm working on a Marvel notes or a Marvel general discussion for phase 1 through I don't know all the way through Endgame. That's what I consider Marvel. Cloudy says, howdy y'all. Greetings, Cloudy. And I'm watching Civil War right now. about to finish Civil War, and then I want to do Ant-Man 1 and 2, and then, you know, and I'm just kind of letting all the thoughts coalesce. But I have thoughts about Civil War that I'll share right now. King, what was the guy's, is it King T'Challa? What is Black Panther's name? Well, T'Challa is the Black Panther is Chadwick Boseman's name. But what's his father's name? Okay, the father, who's the king. Okay, you know, during the when they're in Vienna when they're in Austria for the Sokovia agreements, and you know, spoiler alert, he gets, you know, a bomb goes off. But you know, being the king of Wakanda and having all this nanotechnology and all this vibranium available, I don't understand why he didn't have some kind of high-tech Black Panther type body armor on, or why wasn't vibranium woven into a suit, or why didn't he have like some kind of, I don't know, just nanotech body armor that would absorb the energy of the blast. I understand that he had to die for you know, for the plot to move on, and Bucky had to be responsible, but that absolutely did not have to happen. But Zara says T'Chaka is his dad. Yeah, well, T'Chaka did not have to die. You know, a world leader, you know, any world leader is going to be wearing body armor. That's one of the reasons why 45 looks so pear-shaped and weird. You know, is because he's got body armor on under, you know, it's like when he's walking and everything and he's doing his little YMCA dance, you know, and he just seems so chesty. Yeah, that's body armor. But yeah, any world leader is going to be wearing body armor, and you know, they've got like the most advanced technology, so they say. So why didn't they take care of that? If Black Panther can go and it's like just nanos all over him, and yeah, I think there should have been something similar for T'Chaka. Also, Micah says, greetings, Micah. Micah says, hello, how was your Labor Day? I'm complaining about Captain America Civil War, as we Also, I love Black Widow. I completely buy her fighting skills and her ability to do like her joint locks and her expert firearm skills and her flippy dippies and everything. But there's a scene where Rumslow like powers her into like an armored vehicle, okay, from, you know, they're fighting on the roof, and then he drops a grenade in there, you know, it's a locked armored vehicle, and he goes, fire in the hole, and shuts it, so they're like trapped in there. And so quick thinking on Black Widow's part, she grabs a guy who's in body armor to absorb the blast, and the blast propels them out of the back of the APV. But however, you know, that door's locked. It blows the door off. She's sandwiched between, you know, bad guy, her, and like bulletproof steel door that is knocked off its frame. And, you know, of course she's fine. No body armor, no, you know, she's not even wearing her uniform. She's got like her street clothes on. And she just kind of like groans, and, you know, Steve helps her up, and they move on to the next fight, and that's fine. Everything's fine. I know it's a comic book movie, but I was just like, come on. But still, it's very clever. You know, that's one way to, you know, to avoid a grenade blast. And that's one of my favorite scenes in Captain America First Avenger, when pre-super serum Steve Rogers, you know, jumps on a grenade. You know, just shows his heroism. And Tommy Lee Jones is like a little impressed, but can't show it because, you know, he's so grumpy. And Peggy Carter was really impressed. Still wanted nothing to do with him until he was 2 feet taller. What's that about? But and then the whole setup of Civil War. You know, I really don't think Tony Stark would have agreed to sign the Sokovia agreements. You know, he's spent like all 3 of his movies thumbing his nose at authority. He's not going to roll over. I understand again that they've got, you know, makes a great poster with him on one side and Steve on the other, but I don't think that would happen. I don't think that's in, you know, it's like the romance that they set up between Black Widow and Bruce. You know, it just seemed a little forced, I guess. Batzara says, even in comics, she's unrealistically durable, LOL. Yeah, she's not like, she doesn't have Winter Soldier serum. But, you know, that's fine. Also, I could, you know, I could completely accept her, but I had so much problems with Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. And technically, she's a Valkyrie. She's not Valkyrie. I mean, her name should be like Brunhilde or you know, or Ragnara or Lagertha or something. You can't just call her Valkyrie. That was her unit. But yeah, we'll talk about that more, you know, when I have my thoughts more coalesced. But yeah, I was watching Civil War last night. I finished Doctor Strange, and then I started Civil War. Doctor Strange is, you know, he's one of my favorite characters. There's a comic I actually read, so, but I haven't seen part 2. I have no plans to see part 2. But part 1 is pretty darn good, I think. Very accurate. I love his wristwatch collection. Even though it just seems like the whole movie was filmed in front of a green screen. You know, all that folding of time and space, which is fine. Reminded me of Inception, movie I love far more. Tilda Swinton as the Master, the Sorcerer Supreme. He was like super. Well, no, racist isn't the right term, but you know, it's like I remember him from the comics and.
You're a good man.
Yeah, you know, the '60s it was the '60s. What are you gonna do? And originally was set in Tibet. You can't have that for the Chinese market. No, thank you. He was a Tibetan master. What's that about? Yeah, I have a list here. I started making notes. I've seen over the past week and a half the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and half of Civil War last night. I'll finish Civil War tonight, and then I will watch Ant-Man, some of Ant-Man, and then Ant-Man 1 and 2. Batzaro says the original Valkyrie was thousands of years ago and a part of the Odin Force. Her given name is Brunhilde. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, are you a fan of the new X-Men movies? Yes and no. I mean, I really like, you know, the original ones with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and Rebecca Romaine Stamos was a fantastic Mystique, and God, what's her name? Jean Grey. I love the Jean Grey. The original Jean Grey. The new one was Famke Janssen. Yeah, she was a Bond girl. The new one was what's her name from Game of Thrones? And you know, they're okay, but I prefer the originals. I did not see Deadpool and Wolverine. Don't really care. Superhero movies are kind of played out, I think, you know. And then how much did Robert Downey Jr. get to play Doctor Doom? He got like millions. 95 million just to sign. 95 million of money he does not need. That's like Pirates of the Caribbean movie money. So I'm happy for him, I guess. But, you know, it didn't do Johnny Depp a whole lot of good to have that kind of money. But, and I was thinking of, you know, because I do love Scarlett Johansson. I cannot, you know, I'm happy to admit it. Yes, she should have gotten a movie instead, you know, where they put Captain Marvel. That's where they should have slotted in Scarlett Johansson, a Black Widow movie. That would have been perfect. But, you know, with her cameos, she has cameos in all, you know, in all the Iron Man movies and all the Avengers movies and most of the Captain America movies. So I bet if you like add up her screen time throughout all those movies, it more than would make up for a movie on her own. And I think that's interesting. You know, the same with Hawkeye. Claudia says, it's not Marvel, but I've been watching lots of videos of Missing 411. So scary. Yeah, I did a live stream, Sinister Sundays on Missing 411. It's fascinating, Cloudy. But Zaro says, I never got the hype of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie after the first one. Yeah, it just kept going. Everybody loved Pirates. Everybody loved Johnny Depp. I have, I think, the first 3. I think there's only 3 on Blu-ray. Batzaro says, the Black Widow movie came too late to hold most people's interest. I agree, Batzaro. And, yeah, too little, too late. And also, it did not, you know, I know it's a flashback, but it did not make, you know, it kind of cheapened her sacrifice in Endgame. That's a wonderful scene. I love that scene where Hawkeye and Black Widow and Natasha are just like, well, you know what it has to be, and they're just like both agreeing, and you know, yeah, that's wonderful. And you know, she says, "Let me go." That's part of Hawkeye's pain, I think. You know, after the snap, when he turns into like Ninja Hawkeye, you know, apart from losing, you know, his entire family, was having to let go of Natasha. I'm absolutely certain. See, I mean, such good writing. Everything made sense for the most part. Captain Marvel. Yeah, everything made sense in those first 21 movies. It's an amazing achievement. It will never be duplicated. And I haven't figured out, you know, critically and obviously Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings is a better and more cohesive trilogy or film series. But, you know, just taking 21 or 22 movies and making a cohesive story that makes sense, that works perfectly, that like puts all the movies together in a wonderful 3D Rubik's Cube puzzle. Yeah, it's an amazing achievement. And it made more money. It was more successful by every metric.
Okay.
Of course, I still like Lord of the Rings better, of course, but that Avengers theme, one of my favorite movie themes of all times. Maybe even my number one favorite theme. Let's check out the cougar. Routine cougar inspection on the Tiger Bay Mustang. Hungarian half-bred, flaxen chestnut. David loves those horses. I hope David's doing well. David, if you're watching on the replay, we miss you and we hope you're doing well. But Zara says the only Mustang I like. But Zara, I hate to tell you, but all the Mustangs like you equally. And the Grulo Dunn has been complaining because you don't pay enough attention to her. Good afternoon, sir. Routine camp inspection.
Hello there.
Cloudy says, I never watched The Guardians of the Galaxy. Is it a must-watch?
There's plenty of room.
It's really funny. I mean, the music is like set in the 70s and 80s. And it's very pop and very... It's, you know, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Not to my knowledge.
And, yeah, I think it is. I like it. I enjoy it. If you like, but, you know, it's the funniest and the lightest of, those Marvel movies, I believe.
Real strange. They tripped over themselves to make me
And it's a very, it's a very well-defined world.
All handshakes and smiles.
With lots of cool-looking aliens.
Don't join in. There's an old feller sitting there ranting and raving.
In terms of world building, I think it, you know, it almost reminds me of Babylon 5, if you remember that, or if you watched that. It's from the 90s. Babylon 5 was an amazing science fiction TV series. I think it was Canadian, but it came out about the same time as Deep Space Nine, and it was basically the same plot, but with a just as interesting and developed overlying story arc. And he pretty much just told us to go to Manzanita Post. Batzara says the first one is sort of important, but the other two don't really matter to the MCU as a whole. One of the best Marvel movies, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's interesting that the Hulk, you know, the Hulk is during Civil War is in, you know, he's fight, you know, wherever that planet was, the planet of Jeff Goldblum. He's there, you know, because he was lost on the Quinjet. But it's interesting to think, like, which side would the Hulk have been on Civil War? I would hope he'd be on Steve's side, because I think everyone would have been on Steve's side. No one would have wanted to. Rhodey would be the only one on the Sokovia side. Cloudy says, I'll give it a watch this Friday. Yeah, if you like, you know, retro 70s and 80s music, you know, and just nice, colorful pop sensibilities, and It's got two of the most beautiful women working in Hollywood today. And a lot of snappy one-liners. Oh, did I mention I also watched Thor Ragnarok? And also, I wonder why they didn't include the Hulk in Civil War. I mean, I know he's off in Ragnarok land, but still,
A good man.
you know, he's one of Earth's mightiest Avengers. This is a very rare wolf encounter. Interesting for me, it's always been raining or at night. I've never gotten good weather doing this one. And she drops a torch that we can pick up, but we can't keep.
What are you doing? We can't walk.
Bet I was too, ma'am. That was a bad situation.
You know, I've been near animals all my life. I've been near wolves and cougars before too, but never alone. I would have been okay if I'd had my rifle. My sister taught me how to use it when we were girls. And we would go shooting at foxes when they got near the chickens.
Mother told me, yes, she told me I'd meet girls like you.
I only just found out.
That's Surrender. Cheap Trick. It's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
And hasn't hardly moved since.
It's a great song. Classic.
I know it. Right now, I gotta take care of things.
Sounds tough, but why were you out
Oh,
there?
I love. Okay, you know, it's like one of the reasons, or well, the reason why everyone,
I went too
you know, they have all this like
far. I lost the rifle.
music from this, the 60s, the 70s and 80s, is from Peter's mix that his mother gave him. Okay, and then that Walkman gets smashed by Ronan, and in part 2 he gets a Zune with 300 songs. 300 songs from oh god, what's his name? I'm so bad with names. But he from Merle from Walking Dead.
That's a bad break about your horse. Sorry to hear that.
What's his name?
Could be worse, though.
Merle Dixon. Michael Rooker.
Got family?
From the character Michael Rooker plays.
I suppose.
I'm looking this up really fast.
Horse is gone, sister's sick, rifle's gone. Might have
Yondu.
been easy if you hadn't
Okay.
found me at all.
So he gets the Zune as the final parting gift from the death, spoiler alert, of Yondu. Just like the mix and the Walkman was the final parting gift from his mother on her deathbed. You know, and Yondu is like his father figure, my real father. You know, he may have been your father, but he was never your daddy. You know, it's like, and it's just charming and symmetrical, and it just, you know, again, a great example of, you know, of great writing. Cloudy says, I love when it rains in Red Dead 2. It's so peaceful. It's horrible for videos, Cloudy. We need sunlight. But Bazzaro agrees with you. Best time to film videos in this game is like between 11 and 2, when the sun's directly overhead.
What's it to be?
Let's see if we can dump anything. We have nothing we can sell except the salted beef. We'll probably need that chain pickerel.
Dime a dozen these days. Thanks, mister.
This Joker is still lost after 9 years, and he can stay lost. He's waited this long. Much like Gavin's friend. It would be interesting if he's actually Gavin's friend. That would make a nice clickbaity video. Is Gavin's friend the lost New Yorker in Strawberry, outside of Strawberry? And right now we're going to Lily Mae's tree.
Easy now.
Random Morgan. He was that Morgan was saddled. That was somebody's Morgan. Yeah, Ant-Man 1 and 2, Ant-Man was my least favorite character. I did not see those movies in the theater. I was not interested at all. I didn't really watch him until I had them all on Blu-ray, and I decided I wanted to see them all at once. And now it's like, well, he's not my favorite character, but he's essential to the plot, because of the quantum realm. And Michael Pena, I've always liked that actor, is his best friend, and he's really funny. And it's very funny in a Guardians of the Galaxy lighthearted sense. And so I like it more now than I did then. And it's certainly worth a rewatch.
You okay, girl? Let's go.
And I like Michael Douglas.
Never better.
Me neither. Me neither.
Hollywood royalty, Kirk Douglas's son. It's interesting in the Marvel movies where they pretty much got every actor of gravitas and bearing that they could get. It's like Powers Booth is who's always been one of my favorite actors, is like one of the council members that S.H.I.E.L.D. has to answer to. I was like, is that Powers Booth? When Nick Fury is like explaining himself to like the council members in their like holographic forms. So I had to like immediately look him up, and it's like, yep, that's him. Like very, very close to his death, like one of his final roles. Cloudy says YouTube won't display my messaging, LOL. Sorry to hear that, Cloudy. It's not on my part, and I believe Miko's the only mod in here. So if you didn't upset Miko, you should be fine. And also, it's showing up in Streamlabs as well. So, because it's showing up on the screen over on that side. Yes. This is the full game commentary, John, because I read that post-game Lily May adds an addendum to the tree. And we didn't find it with the Free Roam Fridays, John, or with the Marston Mondays, John. So I thought maybe you had to actually complete the game to get the addendum. And regrettably, we did not. Spoiler alert. Miko asks, what comment was that, Cloudy? I didn't see anything as well. Yeah, Cloudy, it's on your end. I did not watch this go round Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, mainly because those are the ones that I rewatch the most. Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 and the first Captain America, the first Avenger. Though I might watch the first Avenger again because I really love Red Skull's car. Guardians also is essential because it explains it explains the Infinity Stones and how important they are. And there it is, but it does not. We do not have the addendum, and we can barely see it in this light. Super annoying.
Good girl. Let's go.
Yeah, every movie fits together.
Just a graze, ain't it, girl?
Cloudy says it was about Gavin's friend. It disappeared. Perhaps Gavin didn't want you to talk about it. We're going to see Gavin later, or we're going to see Gavin's friend later in this video, ironically. What's that about? And we might as well go to Manzanita Post. See what's up in the tall trees region. Bazzaro says Red Dead 3 should be Gavin as the main character in the story of how he got lost. I think Gavin is one of those mysteries that will never be explained. It is a Red Dead mystery. Yeah, Miko says, didn't see that one, Cloudy. There's a husky here.
Have a good night.
You have a good evening.
And this is a safe house during Undead Nightmare. I'm thinking we'll do another Undead Nightmare playthrough in October.
Oh, partner.
Good evening, friend.
I was also thinking we should start a full game.
to you.
We should start the full game Bad Honor commentary and playthrough. The full game Bad Honor commentary and playthrough. Last night, was it last night? Yeah, I was so tired. I went to bed like 10:30. I usually go to bed at like between 12 and 1, and I wake up at 6. But I went to bed at 10:30. I could barely keep my eyes open. Fell asleep immediately, and then bam, woke up, and it was dark out, just eyes wide, high beams,
little feller.
alert. Look at the phone, and it's 1:30 in the morning. And I'm awake, I was like, I am full on awake.
You got this, girl.
So I looked at the phone. I looked at Twitter for a little bit, and finally, the dog's up. Finally, we just started watching YouTube. We watched YouTube for like 2 hours until I fell asleep again. Finally, and then I overslept. I overslept through my alarms, which is fine. It just messed up my schedule. But the market's not open today, so it was fine. But still, super annoying. Oh, and then was fascinating. How do I explain this? Okay, so I saw an ad that just I saw this ad on YouTube, okay, for KitchenAid espresso machines. They have a new line of espresso machines. So there's this young woman in line at the end of the line outside the door of a coffee shop, okay? And the music starts like hip hop music and whatever, and she like pushes her way to the front of the line, jumps on the counter and starts kicking over the coffee cups and making a mess. And the announcer talks about how great it will be when you have your own, espresso machine by KitchenAid. O-Dog's here. Greetings, O-Dog. Welcome, friend. And it was just fascinating to me because, you see these videos on Twitter and TikTok all the time of people freaking out in lines, at cashier, and like at counters, like just like trashing places and knocking over displays and food and yelling. And, that's part of our culture. And here's a corporation using it to sell coffee machines. It was just fascinating to me. And, it's like, because I think that this mania exists because, well, one, people, the lines between reality and the internet kind of bleed over. And for some people, younger people, they bring their level of passion and anxiety out into the real world, and they think that the way they behave online can be replicated in reality, without consequence. And so you get people who are like yelling and screaming and jumping up on counters, or throwing paint, throwing soup on the Mona Lisa. But it's just, and I think that's fed, and it's also fed by watching videos of other people their own age doing that kind of activity, doing that kind of nonsense. But now they're making ads on it, on that exact same kind of behavior. It's, it's the Ouroboros, the worm or the snake eating its own tail. That's what culture has become, where it's just kind of rotating around and around. Like Doctor Strange. Doing his twirly hand things. Yeah, he would like stretch out. Then Mads Mikkelsen, Hannibal, had his like icy magic. Odog says hi to everyone. Greetings, Odog. We're talking about Marvel and yeah, kind of talking about Marvel movies a lot tonight. Just kind of hanging out, enjoying the stream, enjoying the company. I hope you had a good weekend. Thought this was another routine camp inspection. However, it was William. Might as well see what he wants.
Oh, hello there, friend. Do you have a minute? I could use some assistance gathering herbs for my studies.
What are you after?
Oh, good, good. The name's William, by the way. I need to collect a big batch of this current.
Odog says, thanks. Been a good weekend, mostly. I'm happy to hear that, Odog.
It doesn't thrive near water, so I wouldn't waste your time looking there.
I had a good weekend. It was very busy. And I overslept today, but that was okay. It was I've been watching a lot of Marvel movies and staying up late. And that is not Golden Current, Marston. I watched half of Civil War last night. We'll finish Civil War, and then I will start on Ant-Man. Not really watching them in order. I'm kind of watching them in, you know, just kind of like sentimental order. Last night I watched Doctor Strange and half of Civil War. That guy who plays Rumlow, Frank Grullo, he has had an interesting career. You would think that he'd be more popular. But he, you know, it's like, for whatever reason, you know, his agent or just, you know, luck, just really didn't get a break. But he certainly had what it took to be, to be a more popular action hero than he is. Frank Grullo, though he has worked consistently. Yeah, he was in The Purge Anarchy and The Purge Election Year and a movie called The Gray. He's been a lot. Zero Dark 30. He's worked consistently. He's had a great career. But he's just, it's never, you know, he's never been like the star. He was in Minority Report. I don't remember in Minority Report. What's that about? Yeah, he's never carried the movie.
You know what to do, girl.
Odog says, I'm revisiting the Mission Impossible series. I'd love to do that. I want them on Blu-ray. I just watched Dead Reckoning. My favorite of the Mission Impossible, what's that one Mission Impossible? The one in Dubai. Ghost Protocol. I think that's my favorite. Where he climbs the Burj Khalifa. Hawkeye's in that one. But they're all good. They're all basically the same. Yeah. And as long as we're here, we might as well do a raid on Thieves Landing. Odog says, we're on 4, I think. That's the one with, let's look at that. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Ghost Protocol. No, 3 was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Odog says, I'm going to rewatch again with my new sound bar since I'm hearing impaired. I love sound bars. But I still want to get a woofer, a dedicated woofer. Might confuse the dog, though. But I've always wanted one. I've got sound bars on both my TVs. I need to wall mount the living room TV, which is a pain. But it's part of, like, I will, like, make a video on it. Like, I have this grand plan for this new design of the living room. And, but a wall-mounted flat screen is essential. But I'll show you. I'll make like a, you know, the holiday Christmas decorating video, which we kind of do on this channel now. That's like one of my traditions. And I'll show it to you, what I did. Okay, my only trick to rating this is to not go to your left. If you go to your left, you're going to get hit by a guy with a fire bottle. So I would recommend going up high, like getting on a roof, which John is going to do pretty soon. And also, the boat used to have a Gatling gun. They don't anymore. Yeah, there used to be a Gatling gun there. But if you approach from the dock side, from the water side, you will get hit by a fire bottle. That is very hard to avoid. Cloudy says, when I had my TV wall mounted for the first time, it gave me the anxiety. What if it drops? LOL. Yeah. Yeah. Especially, you know, the old ones, the older flat screens that are heavy. But, you know, it involved, like, first thing I had to do, which was this weekend, was map out the studs, which involves just a lot of tapping on the walls. But my trick for studs is to look for a plug outlet or a, you know, or light switch outlet, and then the stud will be on either side of that. So you can, like, just knock on that until you figure out the sound. And then after that, it's very easily identifiable. And then once you got one stud, you can go 16 to 24 inches, depending on the age of your house or where you live. And you can find the next one. And once you got the studs, you're fine. Bazzaro says, I'm back. Lost signal. We're happy to have you back, Bazzaro. O-Dog's here.
Look at that. You're all dead.
And we do need the cash. Well, maybe we don't need the cash, but it'd be nice to have $30,000. Cloudy says, never knew that trick. Yeah, you don't need a magnet or one of those like beeper things. And Batsara says, O-Dog. Mama One is here. Mama One says, hey guys, everyone say hi to Mama One. That means Papa One is not far behind. But Zaro, were you excited as a fan when you saw the first appearance of Thanos and you knew where the story was going to go in the Marvel movies? When Thanos goes like, fine, I'll get it myself. Also, I found it interesting that Ronan is the one that names the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy, except he's saying it sarcastically. Behold, you're Guardians of the Galaxy. Papa One says, hey everyone, and Miko says, hey Mama One, and Papa One. Greetings, Papa One. I hope you had a good weekend. Papa One says, sorry we are late, but a wild ride this week. No worries, Papa One. You never have to apologize on this channel. Certainly not for being late. Appreciate you being here. Bazzaro says, I hollered in the theater. I love Thanos. Yeah, there's just such energy, watching this in the movie theater. I remember the Avengers, just applauding and screaming and just the hype you felt at the end of the movie. And I'm sure the song had a lot to do with that. Mom One says, hey, Bazzaro. Yeah, that must have been an amazing feeling. Just the implications of where the story was going to go. But you must have known when, like, the collector's explaining Infinity Stones that, of where it would have to go. Where the, And I think it's very easy to draw a parallel between the 5 Infinity Stones and the 9 rings. They're just like they're plot devices to move the plot along. And whoever possesses them will holds the fate of the world/galaxy in their hands. Oh, that's sad. Mama One says, I got food poisoning, so we are staying a few days extra. This is why I cook. I agree, Mama One. I'm sorry you're feeling poorly. Drink a lot of water. You should be fine. I'm going to drink some water for you. Up. Come say hello to Mama One. Sadie's under the desk again. She's feeling poorly. Bazzara says, yeah, I knew where it was going at that point, but I didn't expect Thanos so early in the MCU. Made perfect sense to introduce him at Guardians of the Galaxy, however, for me, from a filmmaking perspective, just because they're already out in space. So why not? Look at that yawn. Look at that tired. She was up late last night.
Come on, girl. One more time.
You know, every morning she gets super excited when we're going out on the walk, you know, and I'm putting on my shoes, and at some point she'll yawn, you know, in addition to like just running around and being super excited that we're going on a walk. And at that point the yawn, I believe, is more of a submissive gesture. But I always tell her every morning when she yawns, I'm like, well, if you're tired, we don't have to go on a walk. We can just hang out here and I can work. How's that sound? MS says, great, Super Antonio. You are great, MS, and thank you for being here. Papa One says, I'm happy we have an actual Airbnb to stay at and our horses are at a stable. Mama One needed some chicken broth, Gatorade, and water. Yeah, that's true. And Batsar says, Papa, I told you I had something cool to tell you, but it depends on if you like knives. Batsaro, this is a knife channel, and I'm sure he loves knives. Got my Opinel right here. I like Opinels because they're French. They're very flimsy knives. You know, it's like, and you know, I like wood handles or wood scales, I guess you call them. Betsar says, hope you feel better, Mama. Papo seems like he'd be a good nurse. Got my Moranif. Another Opinel. This is a Japanese knife. I made the handle. There. That one's for woodworking. What else do I have here? Well, at any rate, I got a bunch of knives, Batsaro. Papa One says, I love knives, Batsaro. I always carry a Bowie knife or a hunting knife on me right next to the shooty bang bang stick. Batsaro says, hope you feel better, Mama. No, we read that. Mama One says, LOL, Batsaro, he is a great nurse, but he's always grateful when I'm better. Yeah, we're all grateful when you're better. Odak says, hey, Mama Papa One, get well soon. And Mama One says, thanks, O-Dog. And Miko says, oof, get well soon, Mama One. Yeah, you just gotta, like, let that bug run its course.
Sit tight. I won't be long.
MS says, hello, Mr. Have you tried the binoculars glitch in Bartenders? I have not, MS. I don't know that glitch. Can you explain it in the chat? What's that about? The bartender goes crazy if Arthur takes out binoculars. Interesting.
Hi, y'all.
Batsara says, oh, nice. My grandma is downsizing to a one-room apartment Dad and I are building. I was going through my grandpa's knife belt buckle watch case and found a Buck 110 from 1964.
I've lost my friend. Somebody help me.
I have a buck knife.
place is cursed.
I have the 110.
I can't believe
Hold that thought. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm looking for my friend, Gavin. For Gavin.
Has he been gone long?
Yeah. Few years. Few bloody years. I can't remember what he looks like.
Here's my buck
I'm
knife.
looking for him, but I don't know who he is.
Sorry to hear that.
Got this from an old girlfriend.
Me too. I've wasted my life.
Don't have the girlfriend anymore.
I looked.
Still have the knife.
I saw nothing.
Then, Papa One, I have a K-bar.
Good
I
luck.
really like the Tanto blade, the Tanto points. The Japanese. And I always like half serrated. This one's a little heavy. But yeah, it's a genuine K-bar. I didn't know they made folding ones, and I used to have like an actual K-bar with the leather handle. I just lost it in a move, or But Zara says that's the first year they were made. Need some serious TLC, but I've got Fritz, Brasso, and my grandpa's whetstone. Yeah, I have my father's whetstone. Papa One says, oh wow, Betzaro, I bet you were glad to find that. And Emma says, go to Valentine and use the binoculars staring at the bartender, and he will cancel everyone. Interesting. Okay, but MS, I'll try that. But Zara says, love bucks. Papa One says, got rid of the girlfriend, kept the knife. Smart man. Well, you know. I never knew that was a 110. I just thought it was a buck knife.
How about some assistance?
Well, yeah.
Wonderful. Don't you worry about a thing.
And we got the Mary Beth model of the Bath Ladies.
You let me know
She doesn't
if
have
you use
Mary
her
Beth's
anywhere
voice, and she doesn't have Mary Beth's face, but she has her hair and body.
else. You let me know if the water gets cold.
Emma says, I finished the game, so me and Marston have been doing this for fun. Everyone should try. Yes, we'll try that. But Zara says, very much so, Papa. Him and I talked knives from before I can remember to a couple days before he passed. And he told me my Spyderco Delico was too damn flashy. I love Spydercos. Betzaro.
I swear, folks around here look at me like I'm a
But, you know, made in Japan.
That don't surprise me at all.
Super expensive. I wouldn't want to carry one around as a daily driver just because
When you're not washing strange men.
I just don't want to risk it getting confiscated.
Help nanny some of the children around here. Doing what I can to get out of this place.
Papa One says I have 5K bars. I carry those often. My dad carried an M3 fighting knife in his boot. It was the one he carried in World War II, but he always made me carry a knife since I was a boy. I've always liked the World War I trench knife. The one with the special handle. The special brass handle. I've always thought that was a cool knife.
All that construction. You ever wonder how much it must be costing? Beggars belief I'll wait.
And then there's like, it's a completely new, useless weapon that you can Google. It's called the Apache revolver, but it's a combination, and it came out around this time, well, you know, 1870-ish, but it's a combination shooty bang stick, brass punching instrument, and knife, folding knife, all in one convenient thing. You know, it's like 3-in-1. You know, it's a transformer type weapon. I wonder if we can say weapon. But yeah, I think they were called Apaches, Apache pistols. They were French. Apache pistol. I'm looking it up now. Yeah, the Apache. Made notorious by the French underworld figures of the early 1900s. known as Les Apaches. And the design is from 1860. But yeah, look it up. It's it's a ridiculous instrument. I had something else to tell you. It was not knife related, but I cannot recall it right now. Papa once says, my dad was the same way, Bats. He did not have flashy stuff. He was just an old outlaw type. He just said it didn't have to look nice as long as it cuts, unalives, or makes people think about canceling their subscription to life. But Zara says, yep, I was taught the two things a person always needs on them is a knife and some cash. Yeah, I always carry a knife on me. Just comes in handy if you have to cut some string. You never know. Open a package. Or if some kid gets their shoelaces caught in an escalator, you can save the day and the mom will be grateful. Oh boy. At any rate, friends, that's about all I have for you tonight. I really appreciate you being here. On Mondays we Marston. I'm glad you were here. I just wanted to hang out and have some fun and catch up with you guys. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Papa One, and Miko and Odog and David and Serena. We miss you. Batzar, always great talking to you. Check out Hannibal and tell me what you think of it. I believe that Gillian Anderson shows up in the second season, but you need to watch. You will enjoy it. Trust me. I know you. Wednesday we are going to do a movie discussion on The Outlaw Josie Wales. What's that about? Mom One, I did not stream yesterday. I didn't have a stream in me yesterday. The Ghost says E. Cloudy, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thank all of you for being here, friends. Appreciate you, 13 viewers in the chat. Like and subscribe.